9 minutes into midday on a Sunday. Welcome to Planting the Seed, exclusive to Channel Africa. Always a pleasure to bring you agricultural content wherever you may be on the African region. We don't just talk agriculture, we're also about regenerative futures on our continent, because we really just want it to be better. And we've never ever looked at agriculture as a separate entity. It's always taken other fraternities with it so that it can rise further. Welcome to it. My name is Mmatsheko Mosito, in your company until 2 p.m. in Central African time. Thanks for tuning in via satellite across the African region on channel PAS 10. Otherwise, in Southern Africa via satellite as well as channel 802 on the DSTV audio bouquet, OpenView HD channel 628. Otherwise, the traditional World Wide Web is where you can find us, audio stream us, channelafrica.co.za. Otherwise, you can watch the show. You can watch the show on YouTube as well as Facebook, because we are streaming for you live 24/7. Okay, we're 10 minutes in. Coming through on the show as per usual, we've got our agri update. It's loading, it's coming. All right, we're going to look at just some very interesting story times. We're also in the spring season, and summer of 2025, I want to say, in the southern hemisphere. So some wonderful vegetation that we can plant, looking at that as a beautiful story time amongst other stories. We're going to be looking at a highlight, if I could call it that, just one particular highlight, speaking to the CEO of Africa Cocoon. They are good friends of the show, okay? Every opportunity we get to talk about their just the great umbrella of what they are doing, whether it's with children or whether it's within disability, whether it is within agriculture, because they've got that wing as well going on. We got an opportunity, or at least I got an opportunity, to catch up with the CEO, Mark Lubner, at the Disability Summit, the very first one that took place just a few short days ago. So we were really just unpacking regenerative futures. What is the participation of young people in general on the African continent look like, amongst other really beautiful things, in a 10-minute conversation that will be coming through just after 12:30. After one, well, it's back. Okay, just in case you missed it in the previous year or previous years, the Organic Product Expo is back in South Africa. I believe it's going to be held in Johannesburg this time around. We're going to be speaking to the founder and director of that particular wonderful gathering that's going to be happening in a few short days. And he's going to tell us all about this year's occasion that really brings together all African people that are interested in organic products, whether it's in beauty, whether it's in farming. I mean, and this is the one event that really connects all the fraternities together. So it's very, very significant and important. So we're going to be speaking to the founder and director of this particular Organic Expo just after 1 p.m. Otherwise, welcome to the show. It's just gone 12:12.
Planting the Seed digs deep into the trends shaping Africa's agriculture. Every Sunday, 12 to 2 p.m. with Mmatsheko Mosito, expert insights and real conversations on Channel Africa, the African perspective. This Heritage Month, we honor the beauty of our differences and the strength of our cultures. Listen to Channel Africa on satellite channel PAS 10.
Every morning, get good morning. Yes, my is young beautiful. I'm patching my holy. I'm young, holy. I was off and watching in beauty. ungangempela umuntu ongangifela sithanda sami ngabe khona yini la uthando lami hela ukhona nalula. Can you tend for me so I can see your hips? Sithanda sami ngabe khona yini la uthando lami hela ukhona nalula. Mama koda mama koda umchevela ngamno. Mama koda mama koda umchigela ngamno. Mama koda mama koda umchevela ngamno. Mama koda mama koda umchigela ngamno. Mausuti 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 umchigela ngamno. Angimuka every morning ngithi kuye good morning. Yesimali sakhe siyangiphilisa. Hayi angiphathi mangiholile awuyami ngiyalile ubuzofuna ukuthi ngimphilise. Hayi mama koda mama koda umchevela ngamno. Mama koda mama koda umchigela ngamno. Mama koda mama koda umchevela ngamno. Mama koda mama koda umchigela ngamno. Mausuti 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 umchigela ngamno. Entathago sa umchevela ngamno. Olo lami liwasongo umchigela ngamno. Umchigela ngamno. Entathago sa umchigela ngamno. Olo lami liwasongo umchigela ngamno. Umchigela ngamno. Entathago sa umchevela ngamno. Oh liwasongo umchigela ngamno. Umchigela ngamno. Entathago sa umchevela ngamno.
hiphopzeddy.com.
We're 18 minutes into midday in Central African time. A pleasure to have you join us on Planting the Seed with Mmatsheko Mosito until 2 p.m. in Central African time. We're a good 14 days in to September. So here we are about to really get into the meat of the show. We always begin with our agri update, just looking at what is noteworthy on the African continent. We're going to start with what's happening in Tanzania, or what took place until yesterday at least, when we look at Tanzania hosting the Pan-African Pork Industry Summit. It took place from the 11th to the 13th of September at Ubongo Plaza in Dar es Salaam, bringing together over 1,250 delegates from 9 countries, alongside 10,000 participants, both on-site and online. Organized by the Tanzania Organization of Pig Farmers, or TAPIFA as it's known, the event it was really a showcase around innovations within the space of breeding, feeding, and veterinary care, while tackling key challenges such as swine fever outbreak and the shortage of licensed slaughterhouses. With exhibitions, experts, discussions, and of course, the presence of former Prime Minister Mizengo Pinda, who was also a guest of honor at this particular summit, that really positions Tanzania as the rising leader in Africa's fast-growing pig industry. So I thought with that, let's do a little story time. How's about we have a little fun this time around? Story time to accompany this summit story. I want to share the story of Constance Senegal. She is a teacher by profession, initially venturing into pig farming to sustain her family. She used to keep her livestock under an open structure while it was exposed to harsh weather with a grant that she received. So she's based in Lesotho, and she received a grant from the Lesotho Smallholder Agriculture Development Project. And Constance has now been able to just grow in leaps and bounds, building a larger protective structure and buying more stock. She now successfully runs Sunlet Family Piggery, where she sells pigs and pork.
My name is Constance Senegal. I'm a teacher by profession. I'm the owner of the company Sunlet Family Piggery, where we are producing piglets for selling. Piglets for selling. These small ones, they are 6 weeks and 8 weeks. I started with 2 large whites, where I was producing pigs for house purposes. We used to slaughter a pig and then we eat in the house, and then I ended up selling pork. I used to have, maybe if there were many, there will be 6, 5. From there I met SADP, and then I applied. I got the grant, and they helped me with this big structure and the extension, and we got 6 breeding sows and a boar. This breed is a good breed, and they produce many piglets. Now that I'm selling the piglets, I sell almost every month. Other people use the open structure, and the main challenge there is cold. When it's winter, the piglets die because of cold. But when we have that big one, the covered one, we can warm the house, and then the piglets survive. Even my neighbors, they are eager to rear pigs now. They come, they ask questions, and then they show interest. SADP helped with the structure and the breeding stock, and then from there we are taken to the workshops. We are taught how to take care of the pigs and then how to market for our businesses. At first we produced, and then we had no market. Then I went to the local radio, and then I used Facebook for marketing, and Facebook is working a lot. For now I'm still a teacher, but this production now it helps a lot because we have extra cash. So now life is changing at home. In the time of 5 years, I would like to work here permanently. So it means I will have to increase the buildings, have the abattoir, and then a shop. At the moment, there's a lot of unemployment in our country, so I would like to help. Maybe it will be small, but if I can end up hiring 10 people, I think it will make me happy, seeing other people getting income to their families.
The wonderful story of Constance Senegal, who is running Sunlit Family Piggery, where she basically sells piglets and pork. Really just such an inspiring story of, also what government can do for the people, but also the people have got to be ready to do the work. So she's just such a fine example of what took place when she received a grant from the Lesotho Smallholder Agriculture Development Project, and that insert put together by the World Bank, in case you want to actually watch the insert. So it's that time of the year in Southern Africa, in the Southern Hemisphere, the greater Southern Hemisphere. So many of the Southern African countries, we see this time of year, the spring, summer, as sowing the season. Okay, I've heard it being called sowing the season, and we are looking at just some top vegetables to plant depending on the region and the season. But generally, during this time, it includes vegetation like spinach, lettuce, carrots, broccoli, cabbage, and other vegetables then get saved for a different time, the winter and autumn season. So we're looking here at some vegetables that could be planted, for example, in the Western Cape, others planted in the Zambian region, and other parts of Zimbabwe as well. So found an insert by Jazz Singh of Daisy Creek Farms to talk us through some good vegetation to plant in the spring season.
Hello everyone, this is Jag. In this video I'll cover 12 vegetables that you should and you must grow in spring. So let's get started.
Number 1, peas. Peas love cool weather and young pea plants can even tolerate frost. Plant peas 4 to 6 weeks before the last frost. Peas can be grown indoors and then transplanted outside. Plant seeds 1 inch deep. Plant spacing should be 2 to 3 inches apart and row spacing 24 inches apart. Make sure to use trellis when growing peas as they love to climb, and you can begin harvesting peas in 2 months. Number 2, potatoes. Potatoes love to grow in cool weather as well and can be planted in fall or spring. However, potatoes do not tolerate frost. Plant potatoes in spring when temperatures are above 45 degrees Fahrenheit or 7 degrees Celsius. Plant the whole potato 1 inch below the soil level. Plant spacing and row spacing should be 12 to 18 inches apart. Harvest potatoes after 3 months and you will get a lot of potatoes. Number 3, green onions. Start green onions from seed and transplant onions outside in spring 2 weeks before last frost. Green onions can survive light frost. Plant spacing and row spacing should be 4 inches apart. Green onions can be harvested anytime depending on the size. Keep harvesting green onions as needed 2 months after planting. Number 4, green beans. Plant green beans in spring after all the danger of frost is over. Green beans can be grown indoors and then transplanted outside. I also made a video on how you can grow plants in rain gutter and then transplant all the contents of rain gutter right in your garden. Check the video if you're interested. I will leave the link to the video in the description. Plant green bean seeds 1 inch deep. Plant spacing should be 3 inches apart and row spacing 24 inches apart. Use a trellis or support structure for green beans to climb. Begin harvesting green beans 55 days or 2 months after planting. Number 5, cilantro. Plant cilantro directly in the garden 2 weeks before the last frost. Cilantro develops a taproot and does not like being transplanted. Plant seeds 1/4 of an inch deep directly in your garden. Plant spacing should be 6 inches apart and row spacing 12 inches apart. Cilantro leaves can be harvested anytime as they grow. Next, you can plant root vegetables in spring as well directly in your garden. The root vegetables that grow well in spring are number 6, radish, number 7, carrot, number 8, beets, and number 9, turnips. These vegetables can be grown in fall and spring. To grow root vegetables in spring, sow seeds 2 weeks before the last frost. Plant seeds of all root vegetables 1/4 of an inch deep. Plant spacing should be 3 to 4 inches apart. Carrots can be planted a little closer at 2 to 3 inches apart. Row spacing for all root vegetables should be 12 to 8 inches apart. Radish are ready to harvest in 1 month. Turnips take 2 months, and both carrots and beets take 3 months to harvest. Number 10. Lettuce. Lettuce likes cool weather and can be grown in fall and spring. To grow lettuce in spring, plant lettuce 2 weeks before the last frost date. Lettuce grows best in temperature between 55 degrees Fahrenheit to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Lettuce will bolt to seed in warm weather. Plant lettuce seeds 1/4 of an inch deep. Plant spacing and row spacing should be 12 inches apart. Harvest lettuce leaves as needed throughout the growing season, and the whole head of lettuce can be harvested after 70 to 100 days depending on the variety of lettuce. Number 11. Spinach. Spinach can be grown in fall and spring. To grow spinach in spring, plant spinach 6 weeks before the last frost date. Plant spinach seeds 1/4 of an inch deep. Plant spacing and row spacing should be 12 inches apart. Harvest spinach as soon as it is big enough to eat, which is usually 30 to 45 days after planting. Number 12. Kale. Kale can be grown in fall and in early spring. Kale withstands frost very well. Plant kale seeds 1/4 of an inch deep. Plant spacing should be 12 inches apart and row spacing 18 inches apart. Harvest kale leaves as needed throughout the growing season.
I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in another video.
And those are some fresh ideas, thanks to Jazz Singh, who you can actually follow online, sharing just some good vegetation to plant during the spring season. So it is that time of the year. Lots of events are going to be taking place. Of course, we acknowledged the fact that the Pig Industry Summit took place in Dar es Salaam, and it actually concluded yesterday. Very, very important summit. And we're also going to be speaking about the Organic and Natural Expo that's going to be taking place in South Africa in a few short days. We're going to be speaking to the founder of this particular gathering. But also to note, as part of our Agri Update, the 10th Agritech Africa is an international exhibition and conference on agriculture, technologies, and it's going to be held during October, as I understand it. It's going to be taking place in Kenyatta International Convention Center, and this is one that's going to gather a good 175 companies from 25 countries that are going to be expected to arrive and take part in this exhibition that's going to be looking and exploring matters that include the dairy sector, poultry, livestock, and grain related sectors as well. So just another one to look forward to. And then we've got the Agri Indaba that's taking place in October as well. So it is a very, very eventful time of the year for gatherings, for dialogue, for summits, of all kinds that really are about elevating the African story and the farming fraternity and taking it to bigger heights and knowing that it needs support in order for it to get to the next level. Stay with me in the next segment. We're going to be having a conversation with Mark Lubner. In fact, a conversation I had with him during the Disability Summit. And if you remember, I think it was about 2 weeks ago when we spoke to the head honcho of the disability wing within Africa Cocoon, which is an NGO that runs here in South Africa, really looking at how disability is seen in agricultural sectors. What does that look like? Where do the opportunities lie? Are we seeing disability as a business? Or is it just one of those that are going to continue to be neglected and be in isolation? So as a follow-up to that, we're having a future regenerative, culture conversation, if you will, with the Chief Executive Officer of Africa Cocoon. That conversation coming through in a moment.
Tune in and turn up the volume. This is Channel Africa. Africa, meet Abedi.
Yeah, that's me.
Abedi is a music lover through and through.
I really love African music.
He's got a taste for all kinds of tunes and spends his days listening to Channel Africa. Guess what? He didn't know.
Okay.
Channel Africa wants to help Abedi and all music lovers everywhere to discover even more incredible music. That is why Channel Africa is calling on all African musicians to submit their music. musicians, remember to give us all your relevant information. Make your submissions at music@channelafrica.co.za. Submissions are your chance to be heard on radio. But sadly, they do not guarantee that you'll be playlisted. All submissions will be carefully reviewed to see if they meet our station's requirement. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Ginger me with pillow talking pretty things. Oh, ginger me by candlelight and long walks by the lagoon. Ginger me with intellect and wine. Ginger me, boy, with kindness and cool. Ginger me slowly. Yes, so ginger me slowly. Ginger me with poetry and roses in the afternoon. Ginger me with trips to Monaco and to the Nile. Ginger me with power and humility. Oh, ginger me, boy. Ginger me with your love. Ginger me slowly. Yes, so ginger me slowly. Take your time, hold me closer, show me your heart, and I'll show you mine. Slow it down, hold me longer. I'll be your girl if we do it slowly. Ginger me with unexpected kisses and a dance. Ginger me with breakfast in bed for just us two. Ginger me with dreams of love and faithfulness. Ginger me, boy, with your heart, boy. Ginger me slowly. Yes, so ginger me slowly. Slow down, 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 slow down.
The wonderful Somika Koma coming through and just gracing us with her beautiful music, Ginger Me Slowly, the title of the song. Somi has been largely raised, and lived in the United States, but she always, her love for the continent remains in her bones, in her spirit, in her soul, because she is of Ugandan and Rwandan descent, with parents that come from there. So she's always paying homage to this part of the world, the African continent, travels from Lagos to Rwanda to Uganda to South Africa with her recent project that pays tribute to Miriam Makeba as well. So big love to her wherever she is. Big love to her. Today, we're going to be tuning into a conversation that I had with a remarkable leader whose life's work embodies the spirit of Ubuntu and the vision of a true regenerative Africa. His name is Mark Lubner. He's the Group CEO of Africa Cocoon, and he has dedicated over 2 decades of transforming lives through inclusive pathways from early childhood development to career opportunities for township youth to championing disability inclusion in all sectors as the cornerstone of thriving societies. His pioneering cradle to career 360 model reminds us that when we invest holistically in people, we don't just change individual lives, we regenerate entire communities and the entire future and their futures, if you will. So it was really an honor to connect with Mark, to look him in the eye, to really get a sense of where his spirit is when we look at being able to co-create regenerative futures and regenerative cultures for the African continent. I want to talk about Ubuntu and regeneration and Africa Cocoon's philosophy in being able to deepen those roots, the interconnectedness, and how Africa Cocoon then fits into this puzzle of, sort of integrating leadership or inclusive leadership, as we heard the doctor speak about. So, how does that form part of Africa Cocoon's greater mandate?
Well, Africa Cocoon, at its core, was started to help disadvantaged township communities, people living in poverty, quite honestly, where Ubuntu was a necessity for survival. Sharing amongst one another became an absolute necessity. And as we started to look at how a child develops over years, with a mindset of saying we would like children to navigate their way out of poverty, we started to realize just how important Ubuntu is beyond the sphere of poverty. Ubuntu is not necessarily just about sharing so that one can survive. Ubuntu is really about embracing diversity so that you can recognize how different variables compound together to create a much more powerful end outcome. And interestingly enough, when you start to apply Ubuntu in environments where people are now employed, are generating salaries, are in fact leaders, you start to see just how powerful this principle necessarily is. So at Cocoon, we marry what we call the principles of tzedakah, which is giving. It's the obligation to give to others, with this concept of Ubuntu, of making certain that we share amongst ourselves so that our weakest link, in fact, becomes just as strong as the rest of the links.
Okay. That's very strong. Okay, so based on what you're saying, I want to segue into, just holistic pathways, especially for young people, which is a big part of your ethos. So let's talk about the Cradle to Career 360 model that addresses complex challenges in interconnected ways. How can this holistic approach be a blueprint for Africa's regenerative future?
You've just asked my favorite question, Carlos, and this is what I've been devoting the last 20 years of my life to. I'd love to say to you that we intellectualized this concept of cradle to career, but it wasn't. It was something that actually developed along the way by us asking the so what question. So we invested initially in early childhood development. And so what if kids were leaving early childhood phase to go into a schooling environment which was substandard? So we had to now focus on providing an after-schools support infrastructure. And we started to look at, well, what are the competencies that individuals who are living with these challenges, particularly in township, there are unique challenges. They're unique, not because it's townships, but unique per township. Alex is very different to Diepsloot, is very different to Orange Farm, for argument's sake. So could we address ourselves to those challenges, be they transport challenges, crime challenges, drug challenges, in each of these environments? And then ask ourselves the so what question. Well, kids in school, now having had the benefit of empowering themselves, still weren't able to access the job market. They lived too far away. Who was going to help them get to the interview and know what to do when they got to the interview? So Africa Tikkun then developed its third phase, which was this job skills training, leading hopefully to employment. And now more recently we have found that as the formal job market is proving to be very limiting, we're teaching young individuals how to develop talents, skills that they can sell on the internet, where the internet effectively becomes almost the employer. So we teach young individuals how to actually generate revenue for themselves without necessarily having to be dependent on a formal employer. That's part of the process. So the cradle to career concept really is one that we're trying now. We've piloted it. We piloted it in our 5 different centres in different parts of the country. And now what we're doing is we're packaging, as it were, the IP to share on a much greater, broader platform, so that hopefully this gets embraced. If corporate South Africa can see by investing in the cradle to career model, they're actually investing in their future labour pool. They're not giving out charitable money. They're making an investment ultimately.
Right. I love that, and then that then ties to sort of the new other sub umbrellas within that particular model. Disability inclusion is something that you've championed for many decades. So talk to us about that, about how you're going to move forward.
Well, it's interesting you say that within Africa Tikkun, I think we paid lip service to disability inclusion. We set it as a target, and once we had met our target, i.e. number of beneficiaries in our programs that were classified as being disabled, we started to feel okay about ourselves. And we realized that wasn't it at all. And exactly what one of the speakers today said, Dr. Anthony, I think, was the one who said, you actually have to engage disability top down and bottom up. You've got to start realizing that you have to start developing policies not independently of individuals or in the best interests paternalistically of individuals with disabilities. You've got to have those very individuals part and parcel of the planning process. And that's, I think, been the biggest change that we've made.
Okay. Africa is a very young continent, and you obviously are a visionary. You're looking at future, you look at vision, you look at beyond the year 2025. Let's talk, all the way to the year 2050, what the vision for Africa Tikkun is for you.
Well, the vision for Africa Tikkun is to be a facilitator, to be a catalyst for change. Budget constraints, people constraints, everything necessarily limits effectively our reach if we think about owning and operating everything ourselves. Can't. We have to find ways to either partner with others, or I should say, and partner with others, as well as share effectively the knowledge that we've been able to fortunately get over this last 30 years of operating. If we can motivate others to adopt this concept of thinking about the end game, i.e. young individuals empowered socially and economically, then in truth we hope that we've been able to make an imprint on the world which is going to be far bigger than anything any one of us on our own could do.
Okay. Mark, thank you very much for the time and all the best with the summit and the future.
Thank you, it's very cool. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Mark. That level of contribution deserves everything. Okay, Mark Libner, Group CEO of Africa Tikkun, and we're really talking about regenerative futures, particularly for young people. I could literally see his eyes light up every time I mention the word youth, young people, opportunity, Cradle 360, which he championed for many years, and he also has championed disability inclusion, which has become such a big focus for Africa Tikkun as a non-governmental organization running here in South Africa. But their agenda is one of for the continent, is one that is to benefit the African continent in the bigger scheme of how they speak and how they move as an organization. So all the best to Africa Tikkun. They are good friends of the show, and any opportunity we get to speak to them about the work, whether it's within agriculture or just looking at just general regeneration, we take that opportunity with open arms. So that conversation, as you heard it, was between me and Mark, speaking at the very first 500 summit, disability inclusion summit that took place in Johannesburg on Tuesday. What was the date on Tuesday? I think it was the 10th, the 9th, if I'm not mistaken, the 9th of September 2025. And as it concluded, I got to catch a conversation with him.
Agri-tech, innovation, and the voices growing Africa's food future. Planting the Seed with Mmatsheko Mosito every Sunday from 12 to 2 p.m. only on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
10 minutes to go till it is 1 p.m. in Central African time. We are fast approaching the second and final hour of our show. So we are going to be talking all things natural and organic, or organic and natural expo, and we're going to look at what this year is got in store for us. So this is basically a really big and important marketplace for people in various sectors, whether it's in agriculture or beauty or technology or anything to do with innovation, gathered under one roof to exchange ideas and to trade, with natural and organic products, which are just, it's our lifeline. It is our birthright as people living on the continent. Warren Hickenbotham is going to be joining me, and he is the founder of this wonderful idea that really brings together Africans so that they can trade with one another, engage in dialogue, and grow the sectors that deal with product that is organic and also natural, from shea butter to cannabis products to all kinds of other products that you and I are going to engage Mr. Hickenbotham on just after 1 p.m. So stay with us. That conversation is coming through just after 1.
We are reviving the culture in agriculture with Planting the Seed every Sunday on Channel Africa.
Charge my energy, I no get time for no enemy. Tori pe wale to me. Nothing with person never see. I'm on nothing with person never see. Forget it, I say fashi. Money soon expected. Take our body, I jump. I take her to the person. Je. I'm in the answer, then yes sir. Then I'm in the answer, yes sir. Respect is reciprocal, even though una know say I'm special. Anybody, we no want to search it. Anybody, we no the carry body. I can't something, I can't something. To bata fele, I can't something. You want your bed, you never walk. So now because myself, I never talk. I look you, they laugh, you go, go. I shall no say the time go come, mama, I no say the time go come. When you know go fit the line, mama, life not done by God. Whether you like or not, go back to me, you best kill it, go pass. So yeah, keep it jack on, anybody, we no want to search it. Anybody, we no the carry body. I can't something, I can't something. To bata fele, I can't something. Money soon expected. Take our body, I jump. I take her to the person. Je. I'm in the answer, then yes sir. Then I'm in the answer, yes sir. Respect is reciprocal, even though una know say I'm special. Anybody, we no want to search it. Anybody, we no the carry body. something, naka something. To bata fele fele, naka something. To bata fele fele, bola fele fele. To bata fele fele, bola fele fele. To bata fele fele, bola fele fele. To bata fele fele, bola fele fele.
Your favorite songs, your favorite stories on your favorite station. This is Channel Africa. No matter where you are, Channel Africa is always with you.
Maisha yangu wewe, acha nikuimbie, ujue kama tangu nimekuona, nakupenda, nakupenda wewe, hakuna duniani mapendo zaidi. Najua kama haiwezekani, nakupenda, nakupenda wewe, we Bwana wa wengine, sikuwa najua yangu mapendo ya vile kweli nimejaribu kusahau wewe Bwana, lakini mama siwezi. Usinione mbaya, sitakuingilia, mapendo yangu itabaki nje. Nakupenda, nakupenda wewe, acha nikuimbie. Maisha yangu wewe, wacha nijiimbie, hata kama wewe huwezi nipenda, nakupenda, nakupenda we Bwana, je wewe Bwana, je wewe Bwana, je wewe Bwana, je.
Africa in business on Channel Africa.
The United States was very vocal at the beginning of South Africa's G20 presidency, and this is largely due to strained relations with South Africa at the time, that they were not really keen on participating. Where do they stand right now?
The US is trying to take over the presidency of the G20 next year, and our understanding from them is that they intend to continue to do so, and therefore it is quite difficult then to be in a situation where you are not attending deputies meetings or discussions during our presidency and then to take over the presidency next year. From a finance track perspective, there has been engagement. We've been working on a communique last week and this week here in Zimbabwe. What's important about that is that it's a consensus document, and so all the members in the room have to agree to the language that is used there, and our US colleagues have been part of those discussions and negotiations.
Bringing the African markets into your home. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Open the fire, play the bed, do let them know. No finish you, no finish you. Man no fit tire, every day I'm on the road. No limit you, no limit you. This now so good. Would you turn down for who? Would you robo? Many things we can do. Tori, I'm into you. Would you wire for you? Tonight I've been dancing at the pain away. Yola balaba, give me your hand and shoulder. See shoulder get up, blessings for your head up. Yola balaba, give me your hand and shoulder. But I know go get us, better go locate us. Yola balaba, give me your hand and shoulder. See shoulder get up, blessings for your head up. Yola balaba, give me your hand and shoulder. But I know go get us, better go locate us. I'm like Vuvuzela, no one can do you better. You body fall from me, why now go shoddy. Love the energy tonight. Wake good day my side, but now you day my mind. Would you don't show this now so good. Would you turn down for who? Would you robo? Many things we can do. Tori, I'm into you. Would you wire for you? Tonight I'll be dancing at the pain away. Yola balaba, give me your hand and shoulder. To see shoulder get up, blessings for your head up. Yola balaba, give me your hand and shoulder. But I know go get us, better go locate us. Yola balaba, give me your hand and shoulder. To see shoulder get up, blessings for your head up. Yola balaba, give me your hand and shoulder. But I know go get us, better go locate us.
We're 3 minutes into 1 p.m. in Central African time. A pleasure to have you join us this afternoon. We are, 14 days into the month of September. So spring season officially kicked off. We're just feeling great. It is very eventful, as I'd mentioned a little earlier in our Agri Update, looking at the Piggery Summit that took place in Dar es Salaam. We've got agricultural indabas that are going to be taking place also towards the tail end of the year. But also to note a very exciting gathering as per annual basis. It happens every single year, and very excited to see that it just grows in leaps and bounds. And, over the years, it's become also a place of connection for many traders and business people within the natural and organic industries and sectors, because it is such a big umbrella. But also there's a portal that is formed around this, which is very exciting. So what am I talking about? Well, today on Planting the Seed, we are really just extending in terms of looking at eventing on the African continent. I'm going to be speaking with Warren Hickenbotham, who is standing by on the line, and we're going to talk about the Organic and Natural Products Expo Africa that's going to be taking place from the 18th to the 20th of September in Johannesburg at the Sandton Convention Center, to be exact. And so basically, this is Africa's premium showcase. Okay, when we look at organic, when we look at natural, when we look at sustainable goods, from food, beauty, lifestyle, wellness, and they even go beyond that, which is wonderful. So he joins us on the line so we can talk about not only the expo, but really how it extends its voice in terms of empowering conscious consumers and also the cultivation of holistic well-being around the African continent. Warren, a pleasure to speak to you once again this year. It is wonderful to note how bigger and better the vision for the Organic and Natural Expo is getting. Hey.
Yes, thanks very much for having me on. It's been a journey, and this event next week looks like it's finally arrived. I think this one is going to be the biggest one yet.
Oh, that is wonderful. Let's talk about, I mean, for those that, of course, perhaps didn't pick up our conversation on Channel Africa last year, let's talk about inception, you know, the origins and the vision for this type of expo.
Well, the journey started way back in 2018, actually. We had seen organic and natural product events across the globe, in the US and in Europe, gaining significant traction. There was nothing in Africa and not in South Africa, so that's when we kind of decided to take a look at it, my partner John and myself. And we were due to launch in May 9th of 2020, and then of course COVID happened. But what was happening, previously for the last 10 years or so, there's just been an upswelling of, as you say, conscious consumers, people getting more health conscious, more aware of what they're putting in their bodies, more aware of the environment. So the timing was right, and then of course COVID actually just accelerated the consciousness. If everyone wasn't thinking about health and wellness before COVID, they certainly were after. And now, 4 years after our first show, we are five. This is our fifth event, and it's gathered a lot of traction.
Okay, that's wonderful. 5 years is quite a solid run, and for you to also sort of get a sense of what the space of organic looks like, organic living, I want to say, what that looks like for African people. What have you discovered then through the trade space on the African continent through hosting this exhibition?
I think the main thing is that there are thousands of small businesses, SMEs, that populate this space. And what we've realized is, and I've done a lot of these interviews, and I always call them weird and wonderful, because that's what we see. Just amazing products, amazing stories. A lot of the people who are developing these products that you'll see at the show next week, they come from personal journeys. For example, a child's got a certain eczema or whatever the case may be. None of the traditional creams are working. So a mom and a dad will go into the kitchen and just start concocting stuff for a personal journey, and then it works, and then they actually make a product out of it. And so there's just a lot of really cool stories behind these kind of products. And I think it's just really the way people should be thinking. If you're not thinking about being healthy, sustainable, you really should be.
Something we also touched on in our previous conversation, Warren, but I mean, I feel like because the space is getting more and more kind of gaining commercial popularity, the response possibly will be different this year. But let's talk about just this growing interest, that we're seeing from a consumer perspective in terms of us using organic and natural and ethical goods, which I think also falls under this umbrella. But yeah, what are you seeing? What do you believe why people are being so drawn to these products at this time? Is it their benefit? Is it the price point? Is it because they present more opportunities for people to kind of grow in their own personal businesses and own personal lives, as it were, as well?
I think it starts at kind of grassroots level. So we have an amazing array of indigenous products and plants, at least in South Africa and certainly on the continent. And these plants are kind of making their way into the products, and it's the natural resources. So there's a value chain that's being created here. So from the harvesters, the people who walk around picking these things, through to the people who are producing the products, through to cosmetics, skincare, all of these amazing things. So I think it's more than just health conscious, which is a big part of it. Everyone is very health conscious at the moment. It's sustainability. We all know about global warming and all the rest of what's going on with climate, and this all plays into that. So I think people are just realizing that it's the time to do the right thing is now. And if you can do that by buying your products, whether it's food and beverage that are natural, organic, whether it's skincare that's natural, no chemicals, all of that kind of stuff. People want to be a part of it and just doing the right thing. We've, interestingly enough, when I started this thing, I thought food and beverage, like organic and natural products, is food and beverage.
Yes.
And our first show was a lot of food and beverage. But what's happened is the rise of the personal care, the skincares, the shampoos, the cosmetics, has been absolutely amazing. There's a massive value chain here, and I think that's what it's all about.
A massive value chain. Listen, we welcome that because as people kind of move more into their authenticity, as Warren is telling us, we're all going to move in that direction, which is a positive direction, not just for business, but in terms of quality of life as well. We're 10 minutes into 1 p.m. in Central African time. Our special guest this afternoon has co-founded the Organic and Natural Expo, and it's going to be coming back for the 5th edition at the Sandton Convention Centre in Johannesburg. Let's take a quick break. I beg your pardon. We'll return.
Gender-based violence is destroying lives and tearing communities apart. It happens in homes, in schools, at workplaces, and too often in silence. But it doesn't have to continue. If you see it, speak out. If you are hurting, reach out. Because doing nothing is not an option. Listen to all 19 SABC radio stations from Wednesday, 23rd of July for hard talk, discussions, advice, dramas, educational shows, and interviews around GBV with experts, survivors, lawmakers, and the whole country affected by gender-based violence. For all your favorite SABC radio stations, call 0800 428 428 to report abuse or get help. GBV, it ends with you. This message is brought to you by the SABC. You are listening to Planting the Seed with Mmatsheko Mosito on Channel Africa.
Welcome back. We are discussing the upcoming Organic and Natural Products Expo Africa that is going to be taking place. So we're looking at dates 18th to 20th of September for the year 2025. Please diarise. It's happening at the Sandton Convention Centre this year, which is, I mean, if you've been to that venue, it's really massive. So you can only imagine what you could possibly be exposed to, whether you are in the trade business, whether you are a consumer of the products. This one is most likely for you. It's definitely for me. I can tell you that for free. On the line with us is Warren Hickenbotham. He is joining me in his capacity as the co-founder of this wonderful gathering. Warren, I'm very interested to just find out, I think also just for you in terms of being able to curate this particular gathering correctly, you want to make sure that people that are there really are as organic as they say they are. So how do you determine that? How do you determine organic versus halal versus biodynamic? There are so many titles out there. So how do you pick the right ones to be part of this expo?
It's a very good point, and I'm glad you raised it, because when we started out, we were kind of thinking of the name of the event, and it was all about organic. But to call yourself organic, no matter what you're producing, food and beverage, cosmetics, to be organic, you have to be certified organic. And so there's a number of different organizations that do give the certification, but it's a very expensive process. And it's only necessary if you intend on exporting your products. So there are a lot of natural, healthy, amazing products that aren't certified organic. So legally, they cannot say that they're organic, which is why we call it the Organic and Natural Product Expo. It's a bit of a blurred line, but intentionally so, because we want to include everyone who's just doing good using natural stuff. Even if you're not certified organic, you're still welcome to the show. We've partnered with SOASO, which is the South African Organic Sector Organization, and they assist us in kind of validating the applications that come through. But I'll be honest, for the most part, it's not a lot of work to try and sift through, because the products that come our way, the companies that apply to exhibit and to participate, just one look, you can see what they're doing. And it is truly, health, natural. The kind of one liner I say is good for you, good for the environment. If that's what you're doing with your products, good for you, good for the environment, then we welcome you.
Okay, sounds wonderful. Also, as I've understood it over the years, you have gone beyond the 3 days, in terms of having the expo for the 3 days, but there's also a portal. Tell us where you are with this particular portal and what it serves to accomplish.
So the portal is a business directory, really. We launched the portal in COVID because we had a lot of exhibitors that had intended to exhibit with us on 9th of May 2020, but then we were all in lockdown. So we thought, well, what can we do for these companies during lockdown to keep them exposed and help them get their businesses or keep their businesses going? So we developed the portal. We listed the companies who were exhibiting with us in the business directory. There's a news section to the portal. So it's really an environment where consumers can come get up-to-date news. They can search for products. If you know a particular company, you can search by the company. If you're looking for a category like Moringa or Baobab, you can search for that. And the companies that exhibit with us are in there. We've got about 300 companies in that business directory now. Okay. So for trade and consumers alike, if you're looking for companies that provide what you're after, you can do it in the portal.
Okay, that's very exciting, and it goes beyond just a specific occasion. People can really connect and contribute to the space of free trade on the African continent. Okay, so if I am in the trade business, or I'm in shea butter, or whatever the case is there still opportunity for me to register to exhibit, or is it now closed?
Yeah, the exhibit is now closed. We've pretty much sold out. Okay. But obviously for trade, so you can go to the portal for trade specifically, and you can register there to get free tickets. So trade can get free; they just have to register. And if you're a bona fide trade, then we will approve that, and you'll get your free tickets. And then consumers can buy tickets online. It's only $70 a ticket. Kids under 12 free. So yeah, it's unfortunately exhibits are closed. Interestingly enough, when we first started, we had just over 100 exhibitors. This event, we've got over 200. So it's doubled in size.
Oh, I love to hear it. That is amazing, which means also there's more to see, because now this is also a 3-day occasion where you can, actually just move through from stand to stand and get inspired and purchase what you need to purchase. Okay, so just as we wrap up the conversation, Warren, let's talk about this year, what people can expect. Perhaps you can just move us through the curation of this particular exhibition. And also, because it's 3 days long, I'm sure there's a lot to experience.
Yeah, absolutely. So from a consumer perspective, we want you to come ready to have a sensory experience. We want you to taste, touch, smell, and buy. Support these guys. These are small businesses that have paid money to be there to support themselves and expose themselves. So come and support them. So we want consumers to come with an open heart and an open mind and an open wallet, and go home with a head full of knowledge and a bag full of goodies. That's the consumers. Trade can expect, obviously, a lot of business. We are primarily a trade show, so we've got a very big trade focus. There's a conference happening on Saturday, the Women's Imbizo, where we cover a broad range of topics from the industry. We talk about retail, we talk about finance. We've got our partners, Standard Bank, giving a nice financial health talk. Nikki Robertson from Reinvent Health is our MC for the day. So on Saturday is going to be a lovely lineup, and everyone is welcome for that. You don't have to pay, just come and grab a seat. The African Biotrade Festival is back this year. They were with us in 2023. It's a government initiative, Department of Forestry and Fisheries and Environment. And what that is about is biotrade, as I was saying earlier, is about that value chain. So it's about the farmers who are growing these plants and products through to the harvesters, through to the people producing. And what they're doing is they're ensuring that everybody in that value chain earns money and gets value out. So no one is exploited. So from the farmer to the picker through to the cosmetics company, at the end of the day, putting product on shelf in pharmacy, everyone needs to benefit. And that's what the Biotrade Festival is about. And big thanks to our government partners. I must be honest, without government, we would not be where we are. There's a lot of support we've gotten from provincial government and national government. So yeah, the other thing, the final thing is quite exciting this year is we're launching the Sustainable Hospitality Expo, which is a show within a show. It's going to be a section within the event, but we see that developing into its own event that eventually will run concurrently. So there's lots going on. It's going to be very exciting. You won't be disappointed.
It sounds necessary, besides the fact that we really are going to be voting these, and I call it voting because really what you are doing by putting your rands towards these companies is you're voting them in. You're voting them into the environment, into the spaces of sustainability, into the greater conversation of organic and natural products. So I'm on the website, and it is very simply organic and natural portal.com. Okay, if you want to get more information, there's information about the event. The directory is there. The partners that are, of course, supporting this event this year are there. Contact information, recipes, everything that you need to know is on that website if you'd like to just have a look-see before you visit between the 18th and the 20th of September. Is there another final question, Warren, just in terms of me getting access? Can I get access for all 3 days, or is the $70 just for one day?
So the consumer price, $70, gets you in for a single day on any of the days. The trade tickets are multiple entry on all 3 days, so you can come and go as you please. If you don't have time on a Thursday to spend the whole day there, come for an hour, come back on Friday, come back on Saturday.
Okay, sounds wonderful. Warren, all the best for this year's occasion. I think for me, it's just really beautiful and worth noting that it's growing every year. That's what we want to see. 5 years in, definitely not an easy one to put together, but it is necessary. And as we build a new earth, these are the kinds of events that we want to see on the African continent. All the best, and I'm probably going to make it for the Saturday. So thank you very much for joining me.
Fantastic. Thanks for having me, and give me a shout when you get there.
All right. Awesome. The voice of Warren Hickenbotham. He is the co-founder and organizer for the Organic and Natural Expo Africa for this year. Organicandnaturalportal.com if you'd like to get more information on this year's expo.
Welcome to Planting the Seed with Mmatsheko Mosito on Channel Africa. Gender-based violence is destroying lives and tearing communities apart. It happens in homes, in schools, at workplaces, and too often in silence. But it doesn't have to continue. If you see it, speak out. If you are hurting, reach out. Because doing nothing is not an option. Listen to all 19 SABC radio stations from Wednesday, 23rd of July for hard talk, discussions, advice, dramas, educational shows, and interviews around GBV with experts, survivors, lawmakers, and the whole country affected by gender-based violence. For all your favorite SABC radio stations, call 0800 428 428 to report abuse or get help. GBV, it ends with you. This message is brought to you by the SABC. Channel Africa and you have got something in common. The thirst for knowledge.
no be money. But go sweep me like vitamin C. Oh, as you can see, something will not there for me. If you don't say that you're for me, it's no guarantee. I know if you say you give my body. For my money, you all the time, I won't connect. For my balance, you know straight my car, you too can I enter small yawa. For your mother, you the only me, you want the call. If you go, if you go, you want if you go, if you go, you want if you go, if you go, you want if you go, if you go, I want if you go, if you go, baby, my money make a boss more. Stop at the long talk, I know they pour on me. I want some malaga with my day ones, my day one. I don't let my enemies shame me go. Now I me, I know the rest I always say walk out. If I say I'm lazy go, I go pick your money before I pick my big call. Because it is stop nonsense, you dey hate on me out market. If I form I make I bend. Say you get fake dress, but you won't give me advice about patience. Are you making sense? Can't fit before I change my color. I dey talk to they talk, shut up. Me baby with it, I know be ball. She be with mama, ever I'm fed up.
Get the news, music, and lifestyle of Africa on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Iye malisajo, malisajo. Bafuna be malisajo, dali mambete. Sunni fani mebe, jado ni fani mebe. Hamari mafula mebe, dang hakilina. Alumila me jama sonko dundu, alumila me jama sonko wai. Iye raso, rebaluni ndoko belali. Honte mama ni ndoko belali, rayi madina. Ali ukwate belali haindi, Jojo kwate belali haindi, Samna magundo belali madina, Kekoro bombo te sanko tante ma dali. Honte mama nindoko belali rayi madina. Jali madi kwate belali madina. Jara tu saho belali rayi. Jali jebate sankutante ma. Guta ma Amaridu sankotante ma Haindi Detura dalilante Fome dalike Eye malisajo malisajo Bafuna be malisajo Dali mambete
This week's food fact on planting the seed.
on the clock, and this is us on Planting the Seed, and we're exclusive to Channel Africa. A pleasure to have you join us. I don't know if you have been paying attention to our catch-up podcast. Please go in there if you'd like to check in with just some previous conversations that we've had, whether it's from last week where we were looking at collaborations between government and TVET colleges, putting really millions of rands into training young people in the sector of agriculture and its other supporting fraternities. Or you'd like to look at previous conversations around Humanitarian Day and also matters around conversation, matters around snake farming and conservation and how the two meet. Listen, we have all of that for you on channelafrica.co.za/planting the seed if you'd like to check in with those conversations and other conversations that we've had in previous weeks. Thank you very much for tuning in. We're going to be wrapping up in just a moment. We've got our food update that will be coming to after the musical break.
Call us on +27 63 406 9126 and contribute to the conversation. From the soil to smart tech, young Africans are leading the agri-revolution. Mmatsheko Mosito on Planting the Seed with vibrant stories and expert voices. Sundays, noon to 2 p.m. only on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Namoro como foi a melhor coisa que aconteceu. Desejo de estar perto da flor que tá perdendo. Quando Deus fazia certeza que está pensava na mim. Não aproxima sem gente, mas bem no fundo não sabia que aquele mesmo barro que dá vida dele, que foi usado para vender de mel. Incrível forma que bota caman, caminhos de chupa no de amor também. Boa felicidade é de mel, gata hesita na flor man creu tchau. Se por acaso alguém duvida, flor com força boa amor de mel. Mulher de vida e boa, única que completa. Sou boa chega já bastante, nunca tem mais nenhum. Mulher de vida e boa, única que completa. Sou boa chega já bastante, nunca tem mais nenhum. Minha cor é bom e que tem nada que te compara. Nosso coração é um só, até estrelas já notamos aqui não tá brilhando. Nunca criei outro menina, o amor de diabo convenceu. Nosso coração tá combinando. Que o quadro que dá não ficou, foi mesmo dela que pintou nosso amor. Coisa que falta pra mim convenceu. Me apaixonaram pra poder de liceu. Pra morir boa, minha vida, tudo que precisa. Enamorado, tudo é tão perfeito. Mulher de minha vida é boa, única que completa. Sou botiga já basta, nunca quer mais nenhum. Mulher de minha vida é boa, única que completa. Sou botiga já basta, nunca quer mais nenhum. Na 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 na. Nunca crê mais nenhum mulher que acabou. Ué, ué, ué. Mulher de minha vida, só porque sabe amar, que compra, só porque tá com só botiga já, só porque sabe fazer, gente realiza. Mulher de minha vida é boa, única que completa. Sou botiga já bastante, nunca crê mais nenhum. No, no, no.
Thanks for staying with us. Welcome to Planting the Seed. If you've just tuned in, otherwise, if you've been here for the past 2 hours, almost said 3 hours, for the past 2 hours, it is a pleasure to have you join us. And thanks for watching the show on YouTube as well as Facebook. Highlights at the end of the show before Neto Chemani comes through with the sports will be online as well. Okay, so just before we wrap up the show, let's get into our food fact with this audio by Timeline Nexus as they explore the incredible transformation brought about by agricultural revolution, a pivotal moment in human history that reshaped societies and laid the foundation for the modern world. So it was around 10,000 BCE when humans began transitioning from hunter-gathered lifestyles to settling into agricultural communities as they were known. So this era, known as the agricultural revolution, marked the start of practices like farming, where humans domesticated plants and animals, leading to permanent settlement and the rise of civilization. So the audio you're about to hear really delves into the origins of agriculture. I don't think we've done that in a very long time. Delving into the origins of agriculture and looking at its global spread, its global impact, the profound impact that it's had on human society overall. Let's take a listen.
This week's food fact on Planting the Seed.
Constantly on the move in search of food. This was the way of life for our ancestors for thousands of years. But around 10,000 BCE, something remarkable happened that changed the course of human history forever. Welcome to Timeline Nexus, where we journey through the fascinating history of our world. Today we delve into one of humanity's most pivotal eras, the agricultural revolution, also known as the Neolithic Revolution. Before the agricultural revolution, humans relied on wild plants and animals for their sustenance. They gathered fruits, nuts, and seeds, and hunted animals for meat. Life was uncertain and dependent on nature's whims. But then, some of these early humans made a groundbreaking observation. Seeds from plants they had gathered sprouted and grew into new plants. This realization sparked the beginning of agriculture. The Fertile Crescent, a region in the Middle East, is often credited as one of the birthplaces of agriculture, and a region that includes parts of modern-day Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Israel, and Jordan, is often considered the cradle of agriculture. Here, the combination of fertile soil, favorable climate, and the availability of wild wheat and barley made it an ideal place for early farming. People began to plant and cultivate these grains, gradually transitioning from a nomadic lifestyle to settled farming communities. This shift allowed them to produce surplus food, which led to population growth and the development of villages and towns. Agriculture didn't stay confined to the Fertile Crescent. It spread to different parts of the world through a combination of migration and cultural exchange. Each region adapted farming techniques to suit their local environment. In Mesopotamia, the Tigris and Euphrates rivers provided fertile soil. Here, the Sumerians developed irrigation techniques that transformed dry lands into lush fields. In the Indus Valley, the Harappan civilization cultivated wheat, barley, and peas. They also domesticated cattle, which played a crucial role in their agrarian society. China saw the domestication of rice along the Yangtze River and millet along the Yellow River. The Chinese also domesticated pigs, chickens, and water buffalo. In Mesoamerica, civilizations like the Maya and Aztecs cultivated maize, beans, and squash, known as the Three Sisters. They also domesticated turkeys and dogs. In Africa, the domestication of sorghum, millet, and yams took place. Cattle, sheep, and goats were also important in African agricultural systems. Goats and sheep were among the first to be domesticated for their meat, milk, and wool. Cattle provided not only meat and milk, but also labor for ploughing fields. Dogs, initially domesticated from wolves, played a crucial role in hunting and herding, becoming indispensable companions to early farmers. As agriculture evolved, so did the tools and techniques used by farmers. Early tools, like sickles and ploughs, made planting and harvesting more efficient. Irrigation systems allowed farmers to control water supply, ensuring crops could grow even in dry seasons. Storage facilities were developed to keep surplus grains safe from pests and spoilage, ensuring a steady food supply throughout the year. The agricultural revolution had profound effects on human society. With a stable food supply, populations grew, leading to the establishment of larger communities and complex societies. People began to specialize in different trades, leading to the development of crafts and professions. Surplus food enabled trade, both locally and with distant regions. Social hierarchies emerged, with leaders and elites managing resources and making decisions for the community. Farming was not without its challenges. Early farmers had to deal with pests, crop diseases, and changing climate conditions. These challenges often led to innovations in farming practices and the development of new crops and animal breeds. Crop rotation helped maintain soil fertility, while selective breeding of plants and animals led to more productive and resilient varieties. The agricultural revolution set the stage for the development of modern civilization. It enabled the growth of cities, the advancement of technology, and the creation of complex social structures. Even today, agriculture remains a cornerstone of human society, providing the food and resources that sustain billions of people around the world. The agricultural revolution was a turning point in human history. It transformed the way we live, work, and interact with the world around us. As we look back on this remarkable period, we can appreciate the ingenuity and resilience of our ancestors, whose innovations continue to shape our lives today. The agricultural revolution was more than just a shift in how humans obtained food. It was a monumental turning point that laid the foundation for modern civilization. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share it with others.
You are listening to Planting the Seed with Mmatsheko Mosito on Channel Africa. This week's food fact on Planting the Seed.
Prometi pra mim que hoje nós só vamos conversar. Prometi pra mim que hoje nós não vamos nos tocar. Será? Mas o teu sorriso, o teu abraço disse logo não. Mas esse teu charme, esse teu olhar disse logo não. Quem te mandou usar esse perfume? Quem te mandou fazer isso comigo? Quem te mandou usar esse perfume? Quem te mandou fazer isso comigo? Combinamos não se tocasse que eu já tô bababé. Tipo um bebê, vou precisar baber. Combinamos não se tocasse que eu já tô bababé. Tipo um bebê, vou precisar baber. Tô bem tete, veio por mim, rolou um beijo. Eu que não queria, agora quero. Essa tua picada tem veneno. Oh, na, na, na. Quando olhas pra mim assim, não aguento nem. Quando olhas pra mim assim, aumenta a tensão. Quem te mandou Perfume, Quintamando, Basile su comigo. Combinamos se tocasse que já tipo bebê, vou precisar beber. Combinamos se tocasse que já tipo bebê, vou precisar beber. Você veio com intenção, caí na tentação. Isso é pura sedução. Batoteira.
9 minutes to go till it is 2 p.m. in Central African time. We're going to Angola with Landrick Bebete, the title of the song. I heard a colleague who will remain unnamed talk about his upcoming trip to Angola, and all I had to say was, what happens in Angola stays in Angola. Because I heard the nightlife there is just too amazing. And I would imagine this is the kind of music that they play there during the nighttime as well. Speaking of beautiful music coming through, we are talking all things sports and lifestyle just after 2 p.m. in Central African time. Guess who's back in his chairman's chair? NE2O back with Africa at Play.
Good afternoon, MM, and a very good afternoon to all the Channel Africans, especially the Africa at Play family. I know certainly that they've already tuned in because they don't want to miss a moment. Happy Heritage Day, Happy Heritage Month rather, to everyone listening out there. We will be talking about our topic of the day. Sport has a remarkable impact in dealing with challenges like poverty and low percentage of employment. A success of an athlete in Africa benefits various communities through plowing back program to disadvantaged areas by these elite stars, while participation in sport improves one's health and fitness. And we want to know, has sport played the role of reducing poverty on the African continent? Our Africa at Play family can drop us a WhatsApp voice note on the number +2763 406 9126. The World Athletics Championships kicked off yesterday, the 13th of September. We will be crossing to Tokyo to find out what's the latest, and we will also be talking to Munya Maraire, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Worldwide Scholarships, an institution that identifies talent on the African continent and takes it abroad for different scholarships and opportunities. We will also be talking about the changes in the landscape of university sports overseas, notably in the USA, where athletes are getting paid. Imagine you are a student and you're also getting paid. It means by the time you finish your course, you will be enjoying good life. And it will be interesting to find out if that is happening already in the US. How many years will it take for that development to take place on the African continent? We will also be crossing to the Groenkloof Tennis Stadium in Pretoria, where the Davis Cup World Group 2 tie is taking place between South Africa and Team Morocco. It is Southern Africa up against the North. Our teenager in sport is into motorsport. She will be coming to studio. 16-year-old Louis Stewart, who will be talking to us about her journey in motorsport. Africa at Play as Delil Sashaya. Manchester United is up against Manchester City. Manchester Derby.
Sounds like there's a big theme of sports as a fraternity that opens doors. Big theme around that this week. So make sure that you tune in. Africa at Play with Neto Chamani and the team will be coming through just after 2 p.m. in Central African time. Thank you. Thank you for your listening ear. Do catch up on the podcasts on channelafrica.co.za/planting the seed. I'll be back with you again next weekend. Have a pleasant rest of the afternoon.
We are planting the seed every Sunday afternoon from 12 Central African Time on Channel Africa.